Welcome to Renew, the show all about the College of Forest Resources. The College of Forest Resources works to sustain and conserve and use our natural resources for the betterment of all, especially Mississippians. I'm your guest host today, Karen Brazier. Today I have with me a faculty member and a student from the Department of Sustainable Bioproducts, Dr. Mustafa. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Miss Karen.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Interesting, Dr. Mustafa and I are next to each other in the office,
Recently,
so we see, see each other often.
I moved to your building.
Yes. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about yourself. How did you find your way to Mississippi State?
Yeah, I landed in the United States 2016 working on the kind of wood composite. My background is engineering, so I started to mix with wood and wood products. And after graduation, I applied here and there, and the opportunity back to here, Mississippi State, was kind of interesting and exciting to me because I can still work on that. I grew up on the farmer. I like to work in this area. I love it. So I am here now, and good place, good people.
And we are so glad to have you. And one of the things that you're working on is CLT, also known as cross-laminated timber. Let's talk a little bit, just for the folks to know, what is cross-laminated timber? Because when I think about it, I would think it's a row of timber this way, a row this way. Yeah, that it would cross.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Tell us a little bit about cross-laminated timber and how it's really growing in its use across the states.
Yeah, and cross-laminated timber, or in general mass timber products, they are kind of gaining momentum every day, especially in North America, because they allowed us right now to construct tall buildings, compete with steel and concrete. The recent tallest building in Madison is about 25-story buildings, so just out of wood. The first 6-story, it is concrete podium. So this is a hot topic and allows us to use kind of our lumber or resource in a more efficient way and introduce develop a high value market for that. The area that I am working, and Suman can explain a little more about that, he is here with me today. We are trying to kind of use a little engineering kind of concept that has been used in aerospace or automotive industry, bring it here and use underutilized wood or low value wood, mix it with those concepts and bring it to the CLT that has a high value market. So simply speaking, develop a high value market for underutilized material and help our farmers, especially in Mississippi, because 65% of the forests in Mississippi, they are private.
That's right. That's exactly right. So that was one of my questions was, can you build these high-value products like CLT from low-value wood?
Yeah, we are trying to do that in this research.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're not really taking a resource that's used very often.
Yes.
But we're creating this high-value product. And can you talk a little bit, is the CLT better for the environment compared to steel and concrete? Oh,
this is a kind of valid fact, you know. CLT wood comes from a natural resource. This is renewable, can be replaced again. We can cut those trees, use it. And regarding the environmental kind of impact, the trees sequester carbon. And when we make a product, that product can store the carbon through the life cycle. But steel comes from a kind of non-renewable resource. And we need to kind of use a lot of energy for the production of steel and kind of concrete, and that increase the kind of carbon emission.
Okay.
Unlike the kind of wood, they can sequester carbon.
Okay, so because the trees sequester the carbon.
Yes.
When we cut the trees and make CLT or other products, that carbon is still stored in there, right? Where other, especially concrete, might require carbon to be created, right?
Yeah, concrete is the second most used material after water. And this amount of kind of resource we are using, and at the end, it is difficult. I cannot say it is it is not recyclable. They try to recycle it in a way, but compared to wood can recycle easily.
Right.
But concrete is not recyclable, and we use a lot of energy because of the cement. Cement is the main part of concrete that releases a lot of carbon in our atmosphere.
Okay. Well, and just real quick, you recently were acknowledged for your research through an award. Can you tell us a little bit about your award?
Oh yeah, it was a kind of wood engineering. I really like this award, and I am so kind of honored and thankful for this award because it helps me at least to introduce myself right now. Before that, even during that night, I mentioned that I am a little lost because I am not a wood. Right now, I am not an engineer, but right now this award can help me to endure. I am wood engineer.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Y'all stay tuned. We're going to be right back with Suman Pradham, who is a graduate student working under Dr. Mustafa.
Want a career as big as the outdoors? Want to have an impact on the environment? The College of Forest Resources at Mississippi State University delivers hands-on training, ensuring clean air and water, wildlife habitats, and a sustainable environment. Creating new wood products and retooling old ones for today and tomorrow. Find a career in whatever path you choose. Majors in forestry, natural resource and environmental conservation, sustainable bioproducts, wildlife, fisheries, and aquaculture. Want a career as big as the outdoors? Choose the College of Forest Resources at Mississippi State University.
Welcome back. With us is Suman Pradham. He is a graduate student in sustainable bioproducts, and he is working with Dr. Mustafa. So welcome, Suman. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you for having me here.
Sure. Tell me, how did you find your way to Mississippi State?
So it's kind of like interesting. I have a engineering background. I did my master's in structural engineering. So I was more into engineering, designing, and simulation. So I was also kind of had this interest in wood. But back in my country, wood is not a big thing. So I was looking at United States is big in wood. So I was looking for opportunity, and here I found the opportunity with Dr. Mustafa. He was working on a new product development with the engineering knowledge that he had, and he was expecting a student with a similar capability. So here I found this opportunity. I'm here right now.
That's great. I love it when engineering and wood science intersect, right?
Yes.
And right now you are actually doing an internship. You
Yes.
came in just for the show.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're doing an internship with Uber? Is that how you,
yes.
Uber? Can you tell us what you're doing?
So in Huber, I'm an intern in an R&D. So in there, they do different kind of product development, innovations. So on doing that, they perform different kind of tests. So I'm helping them out, doing different tests like bending tests, IB tests. And interestingly, they also have this setup where they can simulate a seismic behavior of a shear wall. Mm-hmm. So that's a big testing setup. So it was kind of new to me as well. So it was kind of interesting how they look into an innovation, do the testing, and find a new product with that. So it's a really interesting internship for me.
Is that part of that testing against natural disasters like tornadoes or hurricanes? Are we looking at how to make buildings stronger against natural disasters?
Yes, it's similar to that. Basically, it's kind of simulates the seismic earthquake. So on top of that, when there is a wind load or a seismic load, there's a lateral load. So it's kind of simulates in that way and see how the whole frame performs on those such kind of loads. So it's interesting.
That does sound like interesting work and very important because here in the South, we have some natural disasters, and so being able to get that information during an internship and bring it back to what you're studying.
Yes, ma'am.
So I know you're working with Dr. Mustafa on CLT. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing?
So with this research, what we are trying to use, as Dr. Mustafa previously said, we are using the low low value product to make a high value product. But on this, like, we are using our engineering knowledge and introducing a cellular structure in between the cross-laminated timber that gives it more strength, makes it lighter, and it has like a less value production but has like high value to sell. So it's a great product.
Yeah, and great for landowners who have
Yes.
maybe some low value timber to know that we're working on some
Yes.
value added products for
Yes.
them, right? And you recently also received an award.
Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations.
Thank you
Tell
so
us a
much.
little bit about that.
So this award was given by FPS, Forest Product Society. So I got the second place for the wood award. It was based upon the research that I did. So I'm really thankful for FPS and even Sustainable Bioproduct Department because I had this opportunity to work there. So
That's great. Congratulations. We're so proud of you.
thank you so much.
And so do you have any advice to prospective students, you know, after knowing your path, what would you advise to our prospective students?
So I would say, like, explore new things, try to explore new things and see what you can do and just go for it.
Okay, okay. Don't be afraid,
Yes,
right?
don't be afraid, yes.
Well, thank you so much, Suman. We surely appreciate you being here. And thank you to our audience for tuning in today and learning a little bit about sustainable bioproducts. Sometimes it's kind of hard to put your mind around what is sustainable bioproducts, but we really want to find new uses for our natural resources, whether it be timber or agricultural residue, to help our landowners, but also to be a more environmentally friendly
Yes.
state and nation, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So thank y'all so much. We hope to see you next time, and I hope if you can bear the heat, get outside and enjoy our natural resources.